Would anyone like to ask a question for Sara to answer? We ask if you're going to continue to talk to please head on out. Not trying to. No, they're just being nice.
They're being nice.
Let me take that and give it. Or that one. Okay, you'll do it. We have a mic right here if you have some questions.
Here's our plate somewhere.
I have a question to start, if you don't mind. And that is, there are certain churches that become partners with United. And I want to know how we would become a partner.
Actually, we have mission partners with Nourish because we are two separate entities, even though we work together. Like I'm 50% senior minister of the church, 50% president and CEO. But we have mission and mitzvah, which is the Jewish word for mission partners. We have Salisbury Congregational UCC way up in the corner by Silver Lake Camp. And we have Trumbull Congregational Church. And we are ready to vote with B'nai Torah. It's a mitzvah partner, and B'nai Israel. So we have two Christian, two Jewish partners. So I would love Stratford to be a mission partner. What that does is we get to know one another. You come and you volunteer at Nourish. You get see the lay of the land, all that we do. You get hooked pretty much on volunteering and helping people. You cannot give a hungry person a plate of food and stay the same. You just can't. So I challenge people. See, I think the reason people don't serve is they don't want to change because it will change you. But when you see Christ in those faces, all of a sudden your faith means something. It really touches you deeply inside. Anyway, and then what we do is we make a formal covenant. That's the congregational way, right? And we made it the congregation, Jewish or Christian, signs it, we sign it, and then it says it's a two-way street. It's not just about what Stratford would do for Nourish Bridgeport. By coming and serving, by coming and being a part of this, by helping poor people in all sorts of ways, it then helps Stratford Church. And Salisbury, they're an hour and a half away, right? And somebody says, oh, what on earth would they get out of coming down here to Bridgeport? Oh, let me tell you, those people in Salisbury are a new congregation because of Nourish. And so it's a two-way street. So the mission partner, Ed, we would first get you in to volunteer, come and be a part. See, sometimes a congregation wants to adopt a certain program, sort of like we love our Field of Warm Pot meals, or that's what Salisbury loves. B'nai Torah loves the food pantry. Okay, and they come and volunteer because we literally are getting ready to open back up to where everybody be masked, but we accompany people through the food pantry. So it's shopper's choice. Right now, we just hand out bags and they may or may not like anything in them. So this idea is it gives them more dignity and respect. So maybe that's your thing. Maybe it's ESL. Trumbull Congregational really adopted ESL before the pandemic. And they would come and take care of the kids. And these are from 25 different countries in the world. But their one goal, none of them can communicate, except they'd have to learn English. And so, or maybe we have a new thing where we're getting ready. We've been asked by the Connecticut Institute of Refugees and Immigrants to handle the meals for the new Afghan refugees. The Bridgeport area is getting 150 Afghan families. These are people who served our country and our lives are at risk there. So they got on a plane and got here, and they're siphoning out to cities in the Northeast. And Bridgeport is taking in 150. Well, here's the deal. There is no housing. So they're having to put them in hotel rooms. So what we're trying to do is provide what we call taste of home. And we've got somebody that's going to cook. It's basically chicken and rice, but Afghan food. And so they can feel like they're at home because they don't know one another either. We had our first family last week from Afghanistan, and they don't speak a lick of English, but they know food, right? Food can bind you. We had Afghan bread, and they're, their eyes just lit up because it meant like somebody cared about them. So anyway, maybe that's something Stratford wants to adopt, or you could just dabble in all of them. But the idea is you get to know all of us and what Nourish does. And then we say, okay, what's your thing? What do you love? How can Stratford benefit from this? How can Stratford help this, support Nourish? So, and I just want to be clear from the get-go. Any money or time or goods or whatever does not come to United Congregational Church. It comes to Nourish. And this is the only way it works. So I don't want any of our sister churches to feel like we're trying to do something as a church. We all have our lane and we know it. But this way you can serve people in your backyard. You know, our indoor hydroponic farm is literally like right over there by 2 roads. So when Ed gets his beer, he can come and help us harvest spinach, right? Oh, sorry, Ed.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They know.
Anyway, so I don't know if that answers your question. It's a long answer, but we make that covenant different with each congregation because each congregation brings its own gifts. And, but we can't make it without you. And I would love Stratford to be a part. It just makes sense. We've been connected for over 300 years. We got to keep connected. And frankly, friends, we all need each other right now. We need to not be competitors, but be together as church. Because the world doesn't even know church exists. We're countercultural. And so we've got to be the church and do it together. So anyway, that's how mission partners would help.
Any questions? Here we got a mic here.
Oh, good.
And folks on Zoom, please, if you have a question, type it in the chat box and I'll read it to the ministers.
Y'all are getting fancy.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
I guess my question is kind of, I was a little bit surprised by the fact that I had never heard of Nourish. And I wondered, like Bridgeport Rescue Mission is something that I get stuff all year round for and I support. And I was just surprised why I never heard of this. And do you have any
Well,
feelings?
one, we're not been as around as long.
Okay.
Bridgeport Rescue Mission also has a national organization behind it.
Uh-huh.
So all the big billboards and advertising, someone else pays for it. We're local.
Gotcha.
We're just us, and we're on a little shoestring. We're small but mighty. And I think Bridgeport Rescue Mission does some good stuff. They also make people who don't believe in Jesus sit through an evangelical talk in order to get a meal.
Mhm.
And we're not going to do that. We
Right.
take people, no questions asked. I mean, we're United Church of Christ. We're not going to do that. But that's probably why you haven't heard of us. We've been too busy working. But it is our challenge is marketing. It
Yeah.
always is.
That was my point.
And we are trying to grow that as, you know, every year we try to get better. Our budget has doubled this year. We got the largest, I don't know if y'all heard, but Bridgeport got 110 million from the American Rescue Plan Act. And it's supposed to go into local organizations. And they divided it for once, the city of Bridgeport did something right. And they divided into 11 categories, and we got the largest grant for innovative workforce development. And that's through our hydroponic farm in Stratford. And boy, the Bridgeport people can't stand that it's in Stratford. It's really funny because it's like literally 50 feet over the line. But anyway, it's where that Stratford Bridgeport line right bleeds into each other. Anyway, and one of the things they talked about is we not heard of you.
Right.
And so we've just got each year to get better and better at telling the story, but also to have money to tell the story. You know, we do 88%. Our audit showed 88% of every dollar goes into direct services. So we have very low overhead. We're all part-time, you know, that kind of thing. So I think as we grow, it will get better because we're going to have to put money into that. But
Well, I think you see a lot of, because unfortunately, a lot of people, I think, find it a little bit easier to hand a check than actually volunteer.
that's
And
right.
that's okay.
And that, hey, listen, I will help them with that problem. Yes,
Yeah, I figured
I'll be
you- I
glad
figured You
to.
would, yeah.
Yes, that's right. I'll be glad to, but thank you. And now you've heard of us. And look here, you've got one of my very own cards. Now there's no excuse, right? Oh, well, thank you. Wow, look at that. Okay, let's see if this works again. If I hand a card, you give a check. I love this. I I know this gal. How are you? Oh, it's good to see you. Oh, well, thank you. See, it works. It's like lotto. I give you a card. Isn't this really? Thank you so much. I've seen her before. Yes.
I was just wondering if you have other partners that are not faith-based, like I'm a teacher at a public school. Do you have volunteers from?
Oh, yes, we have. Oh, yes. Those are what we've identified as quote mission or mitzvah partners. It's a special, we make a covenant, but we have 44 organizations that we work together with. I just preach, my mouth is exhausted. Anyway, so like Daniel Farm School in Trumbull, every year I go and do a program about homelessness with the 5th graders. They make things of bread for our Thanksgiving big boxes. So we have that. And so it's, once a year, but it's something important. And they take a collection for us on pajama day or something. I don't know. Y'all get to wear pajamas. I want this kind of thing. Okay. But we also work with Center for Family Justice. We work for other nonprofits. And then but then we have for-profits, Pullman Conley, big law firm. They support us and collect coats and money for us. So yes, we have a lot of collaborations. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Good to see you. Thanks for teaching. No, listen, we can't do it without you. I don't know how they've been doing it this last year.
We have a question from Zoom.
Oh,
The person asks, how can we donate to the Afghan Families Nourishment Program? And do you know how we can support their other needs?
yes. You can give to Nourish through Venmo or PayPal. Oh, is this me? Hello. Hello. I love messing with them. We can do Nourish you can support Nourish through Venmo, PayPal. Our PO box is 1859 in Bridgeport, and you can just write a check. It was like this. You can also just contact us if you take my card. It has my private email and phone, and we can hook you up to volunteer. And if you designate your money for a particular program, we have a programmatic budget. That's how we do it. So we raise money for each of our programs. We can put it right into that one. And I have a woman and she only wants to give to food pantry. Okay, we can do that. We're very nimble like that, but I would appreciate that. I did not come for that today. I want y'all that to be clear. I came to connect us. And because my friend Ed invited me. Ed's one of the first minister friends I made here 12 years ago. And he's just about the best one yet.
Also, we can put that information on our next pastor's letter of how they can donate as well.
That would be great.
Any other questions? Brenda, you want
When
to?
you get to come and
Well,
help.
there's Walt over there. He has a
Oh, hi,
question.
Walt.
What is the first step we need to take?
Become a mission partner. I think we need to get you down there and volunteer. See it. I want you to feel it. It's one thing for me to talk about it, but another thing is to roll your sleeves up and help. It could be an hour, it could be 4 hours. It doesn't matter. But we need help every day of the week, and especially this time of year. But if we want to just launch it in January, whenever, and you could get a bunch of your comrades here and come together. Like I could see like you come help us cook one of our meals and then go and serve it. We literally load it in a truck. She's our loader right there. And you're the driver. And we literally set it out on tables and we serve people outside. And it's funny, it was cold, but I wasn't cold. It's like something in it made my hands function. You know what I'm saying? It was a soul warming, maybe. But that would be, I think, the first step to connect Nourish with First Church is to get you to volunteer. And then you can have that experience, and then you come back and you tell others. And then I think we sit down and we could do more formal.
Can I ask this? If somebody wanted to volunteer in helping with the hydroponic farm, can that happen? Or is there,
Yes.
you need the volunteers for that?
Yes, at a certain point. We're building it right now. Our freight container farm, you know, those big freight container farms, it arrives Tuesday. So Stratford Mayor wants to be in on that because she was in on the ribbon cutting, you know. And but then we're still building out our warehouse space. So it will be a few months before we need volunteers for that. But then once that gets up and running, we're planning on being the farmer at all 7 farmers markets in Bridgeport because we can't get farmers to come and sell food to poor people. Because they go to New Canaan and Wilton, which I get. I grew up on a farm. You need to get whatever dollar you can. So we're gonna be the farmer, and then we're gonna give out our produce to all the food pantries because you cannot get any vegetables during the winter. Maybe a carrot and potato. But you know, if we want our neighbors to thrive, they have to have healthy food. Otherwise, guess where they go for heart disease is the ER. And then we can't have emergencies handled because we're doing chronic illnesses in an emergency. So it helps society if we can get people healthier. And I had 2 heart attacks in April and a stent in May. And boy, I have cleaned up my vegetable act, let me tell you. But I've realized how easy it is not to be healthy. We must do better, all of us. And I knew what to do. I had the money to do it, and I didn't. And I had bad genes too, but they said it was my mother coming to haunt me. But my neighbor friends that we feed, they don't have many options. You know, a food desert means there is no grocery accessible. 6 out of the 7 neighborhoods in Bridgeport have no groceries. So it's not just being poor, it's not having access. And so we're aiming to change that. So I think we'll get to volunteer the hydroponic farm I just need a few more months. It takes longer than you think, but we've given people jobs already, and we're building it out. It's over there near 2 roads on that big bunch of warehouses. You can't miss it. Oh, yeah, Ed does. But it's a big, it's red with green doors. You can't miss it. But I would invite you, my friend, to come, and we'll put you to work. This week, we need help with coats. Oh my gosh, we've gotten donations. We have to rack them and hand them out. And people who live outside who are homeless, they need 4 or 5 coats. So it's a lot of work, but that's how they survive. So I'd love you to come. So here, I want to make sure you know how to get hold of me. Boy, these pews are made for little people, aren't they? Huh? Yeah. Does all that help? Does that clear things up?
Any other questions or that anyone has?
I sure appreciate being here and your warm welcome. And I think my people enjoyed hearing an organ again. Our organ was 6,000 pipes was split, and we have 2,000 in storage. And our stained glass was crated, and it's in a storage pod, and we're going to put it on wheels. A frame with wheels, our big, beautiful stained glass. So I think when they were looking around, and it was some nostalgia, but also that it's okay to be different. So this was a good day for everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. We just.
All right, so I heard something about a cookie.
What?
Oh, it's at our address, 2200 North Avenue. Yeah, and you just call us. That way we make sure somebody's there to receive you. And we need particularly large size coats, gently used. It seems like we don't have enough men's coats this year. So if you, that would really be helpful. All right.
Thank you all for staying.
Thank you all. We'll see you now. Okay, let's make this happen. All right. Hey there. I know you. How are you? Yes. Oh, that. No, they're yeah, and that doesn't go to Ed. That goes to our staff. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. You all. Thank you so much. Oh. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Yes, I hope so. I love that.